कहीं मोहब्बत में हमसे गुस्ताखी ना हो जाए, हम अपना हर कदम उसके कदर के बाद रखें। Kashmir, from a very long time, has been a mystery to the world. And more so because of the monochromatic lens with which media has always covered, and most of the stories reported about Kashmir have been about terror attacks, terrorism, and the chaos in Kashmir. I'm here today with all of you to share with you my experiments in Kashmir and a book which I'm writing with a friend of mine titled Mera Bharat Mahan Kashmir Meri Jaan. Mera Bharat Mahan, wherein we acknowledge the grandeur, the strength of India. Kashmir Meri Jaan, wherein our experiments, because how desperately I personally want to bring a positive change in Kashmir. Kashmir, as we all know, has been referred by many poets, and even Jaan, the great Mughal emperor, said, Gar firdos baroe zameen ast, hameen asto, hameen asto, hameen ast. If there is paradise on earth, it is here, it is here, it is here. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, greetings, shalom, namaste, sat shri akal. I extend my greetings from Kashmir to all of you. Today I will be sharing with you my experiments when I made an effort with a friend of mine when we're trying to understand the chaos that our society has been under. When I talk about the title Kashmir Meri Jaan, I literally mean that for the past 20 years Kashmir has been left behind. In our book, Mera Bharat Mahan Kashmir Meri Jaan, we also try to tickle a sense, which is that in the past 20 years, Kashmir has been part of the growth story of India at times, and at times does not be a part of India. My interaction with the various youth of the state of J&K has really moved me, because I almost worked 8-9 years out of India in a very, very professional environment, and finally I decided to come back. I started my career 10 years back as a hacker, as a professional hacker from India, wherein the only skill I had at that time was to look at things from a different angle. Mathematics was one of my core strengths, and we were good at numbers. It was just that I came back to my hometown and I realized, after interacting with a lot of youth from my state, I realized that these people, my own blood almost, has been left behind, and the way they think, there's so much of depression in the society. Now, even if I make an effort to bring in a positive change in the society, will it really happen, or will I just waste my life along with the rest of the people who really wasted their life? I was working on one of the areas and I was trying to understand something called soft power. Soft power and the positive change in society. This soft power is actually something wherein countries create a stance wherein they attract the world towards themselves through foreign policies, through political values, through their culture. And if we all see, after all, what constitutes India for all of us? If it is the military strength, yes, we are in the top 5. If it is the economy, yes, we are in the top 5. If it is population, yes, we will be superseding China by 2034. All these numbers, if you put them together, these numbers are talking. India, for the last 10,000 years, has never invaded any country. As you all know, it's the largest democracy. It's these numbers. The arithmetic, algebra, trigonometry, everything was invented here. Sanskrit, if you see, Sanskrit is the mother of all European languages. This is the strength of India. Chess was invented here. We have so many things that we can be proud of as Indians. I've had an experience of working out of India, and the way you feel about India is slightly different than when you're in India and talking about India. In various interactions where you work with different people, with different cultures, you really feel that there's something in your blood. We talk about jugaad. Yes, these are things which are like almost like injections in our DNA, and they speak when you're in crisis. I was trying to understand the soft power of India and soft power of Kashmir and how we can work on creating attraction to Kashmir, rebrand the entire thing, because media has overexposed Kashmir and the brand in such a way that a lot of people are scared of even talking about Kashmir. And we as individuals from Kashmir have faced the jolt of being termed as terrorists. And this entire effort and the entire journey for the past 3 years since I've come back is all about creating attraction to Kashmir and showing that the good far exceeds what is bad in Kashmir. People have really forgotten what Kashmir was. This is a friend of mine. We were discussing, my area was how to bring in positive change, what small great contribution I can do in my life to bring in change, a positive change in Kashmir. And at the same time, I had a friend who was working on time. He was a mathematician, an investment banker. We had some great interaction on some data that was generated about Kashmir, about India, and we thought we could understand some patterns. And we really got into sharing what both of us were doing. And it was in one of our interaction that he was working on time, wherein his entire research was based on time, wherein he's trying to pose some questions about time, wherein does time have color? Does time really have a geometry? What if there was no time? Is time creating spaces? Is time creating matter? And as we were trying to understand time, we were also looking at analyzing various data from different sources and trying to understand if there is a geometry, if there is a pattern in whatever we are doing. And that data analysis was not based only on, it was equally done for stock markets, it was done on things that were totally random, starting from mood swings to whatever changes that we see in society. And we're trying to understand, is there a pattern about Kashmir? And can we understand a pattern? And with that pattern, can we predict what is going to happen? Now, we found his work on time, my work on soft power to bring positive change in society. We saw that there is a considerable amount of overlap in what both of us were doing. And we thought we should explore this entire concept. And when we got into exploring, we found that this society and the positive change would definitely be driven through some economic models. And at the same time, we were thinking that when we're talking about time, we're really trying to understand a larger pattern, a big picture. And my small contribution, is it contributing to the big picture? And the major problem in society has been that everyone is thinking about their own self. No one is thinking about the larger picture, the larger common. And the society needed a new business model, a new approach, because everything in society is so disconnected. And we found that there was a considerable overlap, and not that the society had a lot of divergence. There was a lot of disagreement everywhere. There is a chaos everywhere. You see this picture, you see that this red is actually a lot of chaos that you see. And this is a chaos where everyone is coexisting just for existing purpose. And we see that this underlying divergence in everything had some kind of a pattern under it. And that pattern was some kind of a mystery that we were wanting to demystify and see where is a point where we bring in some positive change and it is reflected in the entire chaotic system. Because societies by nature are structured in a way that they will disagree with so many things. There will be pockets of good efforts, there will be pockets of bad efforts happening. What people have done, what scientists have done, they've identified a pattern and they've brought in some kind of a concept, tapped on the divergence, tapped on the chaos that has existed in the society and really brought in change. And human innovation for years has been about tapping that divergence and reducing the volatility which is there in that divergence, in that disagreement. Now, we also saw that there is an approach that everyone in the society was mostly thinking about their own self. They were not thinking about the larger picture. And everyone had an approach which was like an ostrich. Let us leave this big problem. We cannot solve this big problem because how are we capable to solve this big problem? We do not have the capacity. We are not in power positions. We don't have the control. So how do we take care of this? We cannot reduce poverty. We cannot address terrorism. We cannot fight climate change. There is a division in the society. We saw that in every matrix, there was a division in the society. And this division in society was like, some people said, how can we fight climate change? How can we fight poverty? But on the other side, there were some people who said, let's fight climate change. Let's fight poverty. Now, this division, this chaos in society, we saw that it is not because of the larger thing, it is because of the small initiatives by some people that society has been preserved. And how those small efforts, if done at the right place and the right time, can really bring in a big change in the big picture. And what is that big picture? The big picture had a few components, and there are players in the big picture. One is the community, one where you have NGOs. The second is the businesses, where there are a lot of entrepreneurship, new ideas, everything happening. And the other is the state, which is the government. All these three are disconnected. I'll give you an example. You have, just take a step back. You will see, if you see the structure in various organizations, you will find that the society is divided on many things. Even if we look at a group like this, you will find there are people who will agree on some and agree and disagree on some. An example would be, you will find that how do you, as a small business, as a small entity, as a small resource person, can bring in or fight something which is very big, very organized, and you will not get into conflict with that. You will find that there is a business which is getting awards one after the other because of the profit it makes. There are organizations which will award a business which is making profits. On the other side, you will find there is a businessman who, because of his philanthropic work, gets an award. Now this is happening and this is happening. But how rarely you will find that, let's say, a generational auto manufacturer, a company that manufactures cars, will stand up and say that my making cars and putting them on roads is actually taking everyone away from poor consumption habits, is taking us away from better town planning. How, if a person A is buying a car, how is it making an effect on person Z who is living somewhere else? Let us say if you buy a car in Meri, how will it impact me in Kashmir? There is a link, and we have data patterns which show that. Now, while we were understanding how there is some kind of a correlation and how patterns can really show you, what we did, we pulled out data from various sources. Data sources like Google Trends, they were all statistics that we crunched. We saw that there are numbers, and these numbers are creating a pattern, and this pattern is showing a geometry, and this geometry is actually creating a picture, and that picture is saying something which is totally contradicting to what is happening. So this entire link of what we see in numbers was talking. While we were trying to understand chaos and the underlying symmetry, we saw that there are a few research points which are linked to what is happening in Kashmir. Herbert Simon was the father of artificial intelligence in 1976. He said that every complex organic structure is made of simple structures, and these simple structures are linked in layers in hierarchy which form the complex structure. And if we see that a complex organic structure on one side is also similar to a complex structure on the other side, because the simple points and simple breakdown structure are same. Though it would be Wilfredo Pareto in 1906, he said that 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes. He was studying land, and he said 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. Now he saw that there is a pattern in this entire chaos, the way the society is structured, there is a pattern. And this principle was getting applicable everywhere. He studied something in his garden. He said 80% of the peas come from 20% of the pea pods in my garden. And then he said, even if we classify the top 10 richest people, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Carlos, these 2 or 3 people in the top will have the similar kind of wealth that you have in, that is with the rest of the 7. So there is a pattern somewhere. Our effort was to identify, is there a pattern in Kashmir, and are we on an edge, and can we identify a pattern and see where our work will really bring in some change. There's something called small decisions. There's something called tyranny of small decisions. It's called that if you have small decisions, no matter how right, collectively, they create a negative impact. How do you control that? Small decisions, yes, they might be right in small time scales and effort, but even if they are right, if you put them together, the overall outcome is negative, which is not desired, what we want to do. In 1950, there was another concept called, there was a paper which was published by an economist, George Alfredo. He said there is something called market for lemons. Lemons was a slang for second-hand cars. He explained that if you are the owner of a good car, if you are the owner of a good car, you won't put your car in the second-hand market. Which means the kind of cars that are coming in the second-hand market are bad cars. He explained it through a concept called market for lemons, wherein the buyer knows more about what he's selling than who's buying lemons. Because when you buy lemons, you take them home and you find they're bad. Similarly, the concept was the buyer knew more. Now, market for lemons, the concept explains that who is controlling the market? If the lemons are being sold, if the bad cars are coming in the second-hand markets, the bad cars are actually pushing the good out. So if you see the society, the structure of the society, let us say if I have to say that I want a snapshot of the society, can I talk to the society? Can I ask the society to smile and click a picture? I cannot. What I can do is I can say that there is a data that society is generating. And if I see a pattern in the data that is being generated, I can click a picture. This picture would have, multiple time scales. It would be in, there would be in layers. Time, because exists in multiple layers. The snapshot has to have multiple time scales on which the picture has been clicked, and there has to be seamless link of a pattern where we can see there is a geometry. We cannot know if the society is happy or the society is bad, but because of the data that the society is generating, we would know that the society is bad. Let us say, for example, if in Delhi we pull out data and there are searches being made about Crocin or paracetamol, we know that the trend is going up and the number of searches about paracetamol or Crocin is increasing. That means there is a problem, there is a headache in the society. We can tap it in two ways. One, either I go and open up a chemist shop which sells for Crocin, or on the other side, I go and see there is some root cause of that headache and let's try to eliminate it. That is the power that data generates and this data analytics will give me. There was another concept wherein, there was a scientist who recently got a Nobel Prize, Eleanor Ostrom. She died, she got a Nobel Prize for a work on structuring something which was about, there is something called tragedy of commons. It's called that if you think about the pasture, there's a common pasture, and if there's a common pasture on which my cow is grazing, everyone will come and graze on that common pasture. And on that common pasture, what happens? The entire pasture is taken away. And suddenly it forces the entire pasture to be eroded. Now, this is like a common, and there's a tragedy that happens on the common. This was something that we identified, and we did that data analysis where we say that if there is war, there is an extreme point of war, and then suddenly there will be peace. If you're playing in that common grid, if we hate somebody to an extreme, you know what will happen at the end? You will fall in love. There is an extreme reversion. There's a concept of extreme reversion that happens everywhere. And we found that this was a similar pattern that was happening in Kashmir. There is no tourism happening, about 10, 15 years, there's nothing, and suddenly now the market is just opening up. There's a tourism explosion that has happened. It was the same time that we identified that there was somebody who met me, and that this old man shared a story with me. He was working on there's a basket called Kangadi in Kashmir. This was a dying industry because people are not using it. Why? Because there is heaters and there are radiators which have come in, and this entire industry is dying. What we did, we said we really wanted to help this guy, but we did not know where to start. And then, because there were so many families linked with this industry, we said, let us give it a shot. We wanted to revive this industry. We said, all right. We took this basket from this guy and we said, all right, now we will try to do something, whatever best possible. We gave it a new life because no one is using this kangri anymore in Kashmir. And there's so many people who are dependent on this. What we did, we gave it a new life. We approached a few restaurants where we said we will convert this kangri into a biryani basket, put tags where we say, all right, what we do with this. And we said, we will tell everyone what this industry is. We will add the cost of this basket into every biryani that is sold. We approached a lot of restaurants that were serving Kashmiri cuisine. You know what happened? The first order that we gave the guy, we asked this guy, how many kangris do you make in a month? He said, I make 100 maximum in a month because it's all handwork. We cannot increase it. The first order that we gave him was 7,000 pieces a month. We opened a restaurant. We started off with helping restaurants. And suddenly this entire thing grew in such a manner that we were able to pay this guy 20 lakhs a month because of this. And suddenly this guy has been calling us and saying, so when are you opening another restaurant? I have my eye on 3 factories which I want to buy. Now, empowering that person and taking to that level. This guy did not have even one room from which he could live in. It was only one room where his entire family was living, and that was the place he was working from. We changed this entire thing and we said, all right, if we see a pattern here, what will happen? We created a positive change. It created employment. You know what happened next? We had a lot of people from villages, artisans, craftsmen connecting with us. They wanted to come up with their products and they wanted us to do something with them. We combined everyone and we created a restaurant. This was a restaurant done by all craftsmen with intricate work, starting from woodwork to weaving to flooring to the cuisines. We converted everything and we brought the real guys to do something. We got this restaurant ranked as one of the best restaurants, not only in India, even internationally. This happened, and now we have so many people who connected with us only because of this. Why? Because we brought the people who were in this art directly into the front line. And we changed the scenario. And because of this, we have more than 1,000 families who are looking at us because the opportunities that we are creating with this art, whatever Kashmir stands for, is a new life. And everyone wants to be a part of this big picture. There's a traditional utensil. It's called trami. We got it, we went to an extent, we created gold-plated tramis in which the Kashmiri cuisine was served. Now, taking every component, we had young, bright people from Kashmir and from villages. And these people are like, they are so everyone say that we are not terrorists. And yes, there is so much goodness that we are talking about. While we were doing all of this, we wanted everyone to take pledge with us. Today we have something called, where we are talking about a common. The larger common is the environment in which we are playing. The larger common is the society in which we are playing. What we have now, almost 20,000 children, graduates who are with us, who have taken the pledge and they're working on sensitizing people on climate change. As we all know, Jammu and Kashmir almost owns 80% of Himalayas. And it is our duty to make all the efforts to preserve Himalayas because the biggest change that is happening in Himalayas is happening because of climate change. We have the top bosses of our state to take pledge with us, and this pledge has really made sure that everyone who's looking at their personal growth has a bigger understanding of the big picture, because whatever small efforts you do is making a big picture change. And this big picture about the society is very, very important for everyone who wants to bring in positive change in society. If you are wanting to do anything for yourself, the best way to do is to understand the big picture, because if you are disconnected from the big picture, no matter how good efforts you're making, you are not really making a positive change. Our entire effort has been about bringing positive change We have now a larger dream where we're talking about creating multiple large format destinations where we want to create parallel Kashmir across the world. And that dream is possible. Why? Because the kind of support that we have from people who help us create those restaurants, those cafes, plugged in with their art forms, everything. And they're so charged up because today you see youngsters are going away because they want technology jobs. And that is not for which Kashmir stands for. We are plugging in everyone. We have a big vision for Kashmir, and this is what we want to show. Our effort about rebranding, recreating, and showcasing what Kashmir stands for, understanding the big picture because there's a trend. And today, Kashmir stands, in the past 3 years, you can see Kashmir today now stands at a point where we have literally seen tourism explosion happening. And there's a trend, and everyone is so charged today because a lot of people in Kashmir in the past 3 years, I'm talking about 20,000 people, they have been able to see the big picture. And that is why they're contributing. Thank you so much.